This memoir includes the retelling of real-life struggles, including themes of suicide and mental health challenges. Viewer discretion is advised. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available at the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline chat.988lifeline.org. Raised by Demons, a true and accurate autobiography. Well, sort of. Part 8. Confident the chase was over, Henry realized the same truth that allowed his father to quit the race, that there was no place else to go. He was trapped. No gas, no money, no food, no place to live. His only choice then was to go back home and submit to whatever mistreatment or humiliation was imposed. If it was drunken name-calling, so be it. Grin and bear it. If it was one critical remark after another, take it with a grain of salt, as they say. If it was breaking up his parents' fight, then do the best you can and best of luck. That was the lot in life dealt to him, so make the best of it. There was no other choice. And then he thought he heard a voice softer than a whisper. "Is that so?" Snuffer breathed, so quiet he could have been inside his head. "All is lost, you say? Poor fellow. Never had a chance, did you? Everything is against you, huh? Gas tank near empty, no money for breakfast, no place to go, and not even a change of clothes. The situation sounds hopeless, eh?" "Hopeless, yes," Henry agreed out loud. He'd grown used to verbalizing his thoughts conversationally. Doing so was comforting, like having a best friend who never argued or criticized and was always approving. "Why keep trying, then?" Snuffer continued in a comforting tone. "After all, you've given it your best shot. Can you help it if you were born under an unlucky star? You've had it tough from the beginning. Nothing has ever gone your way, has it? And probably never will in the future, you think?" "Yeah, you're right," Henry acquiesced. "Why go on then? What's the point? Sooner or later it's going to end up something for nothing anyway. It'd be different if there was any chance of things improving, but as you say, they won't." "Yeah, I suppose," he agreed. "How's anything going to change?" Snuffer asked in a non-confrontational manner. "You think you'll rub a magic lamp and some genie will pop up and make everything right? Surely by now you know better than that, right?" "I guess," he relented. "Of course you do," Snuffer affirmed. "You quit believing in miracles long ago. That sort of Hollywood ending is for little children and juvenile dreamers, not a realist like you. After all you've been through, you've learned better than that. All the times as a kid you wished for another home or for different parents, and where'd it get you?" Nowhere." "Right then. What's the use?" I don't get it," Henry answered. "What's the answer to all this?" "Chuck it," Snuffer said, blunter than he had been so far. "Chuck it all and be done with it. That'll make them sorry. That's really the only way to express your disgust and make everyone regret their neglect." "Think so? Really?" Henry wondered. "Are you kidding? They'll feel sorry then. It's called retribution. Like the time you were at Boy Scout camp, remember? When you and your dad were to build a campfire from scratch for a merit badge and that sandstorm blew in? Remember how the other boys and their dads hunkled up together and built the fire anyway, but your dad got flustered and went to the car, leaving you to build a fire alone, which you never did. Boy, howdy," he chuckled. "Wouldn't you like to pay him back for your having to sit there and watch him in the car drinking from his flask? So here's your chance. Show him how it feels. See how he likes being abandoned in time of need. He won't get over that very soon. You can bet on that." I hadn't thought of it that way," Henry mumbled. "But it's true." "Of course it's true," Snuffer returned with a hint of offense. "Would I lie to you?" I guess not." "You guess?" he cried, now sounding insulted. "All the injustices I've been through with you, the thoughtless slights I've endured right along with you, and being unable to help you when you had to swallow your rage? All of that, and you have the audacity to doubt my integrity? I thought we trusted one another like the best of pals, you and I. Oh, we are, Henry admitted. I'm sorry. I'm just so upset. I don't know what I'm saying, I guess. And I don't blame you, Snuffer consoled. Who wouldn't be so upset? They don't know what they're saying. No. I don't fault you at all. Thanks, Henry breathed, a sigh of relief. I'm just at a loss what to do. I know, Snuffer whispered. You recall the little boy who lived across the street from you? He found a bottle of chocolate-covered aspirin and ate every last one. He never woke up. The father who bought the bottle and left it within the toddler's reach was devastated. After the funeral, he went to pieces with grief, lost his job, and they had to move away. Do you remember that? Sure, Henry said. But that little kid was a lot smaller than me. I'm 3-4 times his size. It'd take a bucket of aspirin for me, if they worked at all. Good point, Snuffer conceded. Okay, then. Sleeping pills. Oh, give me those, Henry said with a dismissive hug. Prescription, you know. Your mother has one. Tell the druggist they're for her. Snuffer kept any emotion out of his soft voice, as if casual every day. How many times has she let you off in front of the pharmacy to go in and pick them up for her? 10? 12? More? Henry never questioned where such notions came from. Despite being conceived in dialogue, he assumed the ideas were his own. The inner debates, he figured, were merely his way of reasoning out dilemmas, and so he complied without hesitation. Consequently, there was no sadness, anxiety, or panic, nothing more than following a reasonable, logical conclusion. He drove the Austin Healy Sprite to Connor's Pharmacy, where his parents had a charge account. He could not only sign a tab for medicines, but also add on such non-essentials as a Coke, chips, candy. The drugstore was the last shop at the end of a strip mall where Andrews Highway and Ohio Street intersected. The hospital was across the street where Henry had spent a good bit of his youth. Once inside the store, the place seemed smaller to him, even though his parents had let him out of the car to pick up drugs every other month or so, it seemed like. Inside was a long aisleway with shelves of pills, bottled remedies for everything under the sun, plus bandages and braces and so forth. To the left of the front door, a counter held a cash register, and in back, a long bench-like cabinet partitioned off a storeroom of shelved prescription meds. Henry knew the pharmacist well enough not to call him Mister, but he'd used the honorific for so long it'd become part of his name. The white-haired old guy with crinkly eyes and a permanent smile lived only a few streets over from theirs. His one peculiarity was whenever he mowed the lawn, no matter if 105 outside, he did so with a push mower while dressed in long sleeves and a bow tie, black slacks, black socks, and dress shoes. He looked as uncomfortable and inappropriate as if he'd shown up to dispense medicines in a Speedo swimsuit. Hopefully the pharmacist was gone to lunch or out sick, as otherwise the old guy would want to chit-chat. Things could go a lot smoother, he thought, dealing with a part-time assistant. But no luck. Once in the door, Henry spotted the man that wanted to avoid at the back of the store. Worse yet, a customer was already talking to him. This would be bad enough one-on-one, but in front of an audience would be double tough. He couldn't remember the last time he felt this ill at ease. Relax, take it easy, Snuffer advised, who was never far away. Don't act like a shoplifter. Be natural. What's so hard about asking the pill pusher for sleeping pills? It's not like you haven't done so dozens of times before. How often has your mother let you off in front of the store to run in and pick up her medications? You'll do fine. Henry could always depend on good old Snuffer and felt calmer, even when a second woman came in the store and got in line behind him. She had a little boy who was running around picking up things off the shelves despite the woman telling him not to. Henry was glad for the distraction, as he felt everyone's attention, whether actual or not, shift off him to the meddlesome boy. While waiting for the woman ahead of him to finish, Henry sorted through different greetings to begin with and how best to ask for the pills that would sound casual and unconcerned, at the same time act in a hurry. Let's see. He could say, "My mother's outside waiting and sent me in for sleeping pills." No, anyone can see she's not in the convertible. Okay, then. He could say, "My dad let me out to pick up my mom's sleeping pills, please." No, same problem. Where's he? Okay, then. "Sleeping pills, please, as I let my dad out at the hardware and he let me drive the new Austin Healey Sprite down inside the parking lot." Before he could get his line straight, the woman ahead of him stepped to the side and motioned for him to go next. At that, Henry would have left the line and walked out, except the pharmacist, even though at the back of the store, had already seen him. And how was he to explain leaving abruptly like that? He might have left anyway. Only at that moment, the pharmacist called to him. "Be with you in a second, Henry," he called, pouring pills onto a silver tray, counting them and scooping them into a much smaller bottle. He returned to the front and handed a small white sack to the woman who'd stepped aside. The older fellow couldn't have looked more like a pharmacist, with his gray hair, wire-rimmed glasses, and a pencil in his teeth as if a bone-through-his-nose witch doctor. He was reading the label on a quart-sized pill bottle. "Sleeping cars, please," Henry blurted out before the doctor finished giving instructions to the woman. I mean pills, not cars. Or rather, sleeping car pills." Not only had he interrupted the pharmacist and his patient, but he couldn't have sounded more unnatural. For one thing, he'd completely forgotten to say hello, or any of the usual preliminaries. "Not for me," Henry attempted to repair his bungling, but made it worse as the man had not yet finished saying goodbye to the woman. "For my mother," he went on, regardless. She sent me." Everything he said seemed to only dig him in deeper. "Well, hello there, you tall drink of water," the pharmacist said in passing by the window on his way to returning the quart bottle on the shelf. His mother told Henry the man's silver hair wasn't real, but a toupee, which in a way was relieving. Both he and the pharmacist were pretending. My, how you have grown taller every time you come in here. Better stop soon, or you'll have to duck down to get in here, or I'll have to build a taller doorway." "Pity who have to pay your grocery bills." "Huh? What? Oh, sorry. I forgot to say hello. Too much on my mind of late, I guess. Hello." That sounded stiff, he thought. "Oh, I mean, hi. How's it going?" "Hi, Henry. You look pale. Are you feeling okay?" Fine. They're for my mom." "That's that?" "The sleeping pill. They're not for me. For my mom. She's not sleeping well lately, and I'm here to pick them up, and that's why I'm in here." He laughed. But then wished he hadn't, as there was no reason to. "I don't have an order," the man said. "No one called anything in. Is your mom outside?" The question so startled Henry he couldn't think for a second. How was he to explain the parked car outside and him with no driver's license besides a learner's permit? No. She walked down the way to another store." "Oh, in that case, we'll wait till she comes back." She's not coming back." "No?" "No, a dress shop, you know. I'm supposed to drive down inside the parking lot and pick her up." "Okay, have her call me when she gets a chance. Some chocolate-covered aspirin instead." "We don't sell those anymore," the pharmacist said, losing his ever-present smile. "After the neighborhood child swallowed a whole bottle, you heard about that, I'm sure. Wasn't it right across the street from where you live?" Yes, Henry stammered. "Tylenol, then. The biggest bottle you got. Mother has an awful headache." "On the shelf to your right," the man said, pointing that way. "I hope her headache gets better." Yeah, thanks." He grabbed the box and hurried to the front register to sign the charge ticket along with an RC Cola, and darted for the front door. Once back in the driver's seat of the Austin Healey Bug-Eye Sprite, he looked back in time to catch sight of a white-coated figure at the storefront window. That meant trouble, as the pharmacist had left his next customer waiting. Regardless, he drove into the traffic in spite of his made-up story about keeping to the parking lot. Once away from the store, Henry overfilled his mouth with capsules and washed them down with the RC Cola, emptying the pill bottle. Without a destination in mind, he drove towards downtown but hadn't made it far before a drowsy sensation made him reduce speed. His blinking slowed and lasted longer. Shaking off or trying to, a strange numb feeling overpowering him. At a blurry stoplight, a car horn blared, followed by others. At first, the obnoxious racket sounded close by and then got farther and farther away. The honking was replaced by a knocking noise from wherever, maybe at his window. At a sudden lurch forward, followed by a jarring crash, he tried to wake up, but that was the last he remembered. Henry next walked in a tight circle, round and round, as if he was a donkey tied to a millstone. Like the donkey, he hated walking, and would have given anything to stop and lie down. Why keep walking anyway? What was the point? Was there a purpose? If so, he couldn't figure it out. Each time he tried to sit in the chair or at the edge of his bed, his mother would pull him back up and start counting steps again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. He's waking up now, an authoritative voice he recognized said. He's out of danger, but I'd keep him walking another half hour or so. Before very long, he may be hungry, and after having his stomach emptied, but give him only 1 scrambled egg and maybe toast and honey. Chocolate milk would be good, too. Henry was confused. Where'd their doctor come from? The man lived 3 houses away in Caddy Corner across the intersection, but he never came by unless someone was sick. Should he stay in bed today? His mother asked. No, he's a strong kid. After he comes to fully, let him nap if he wants to, but not too long. What medicine is still in his system will slowly dissipate. It's lucky the pharmacist suspected something and didn't sell him the chocolate-covered aspirin, or he might have had a different problem altogether. Thank you, doctor, for coming so fast, Henry's mother said, while pulling her son back from reaching for the bed. You don't know how thankful we are you live close by. Feel free to call me if anything changes, he said on his way out the door. Can I do anything else for you? No. I'm sorry you had to be here, doctor, when the police brought my husband and the cars back. They won't release him until tomorrow. Have you tried AA? He goes, and he likes it, but he always has a drink or two beforehand. Says it relaxes him. I see. I'll see my own way out, the doctor said on his way towards the den. Just keep him walking. To be continued. For a continuation of Raised by Demons, plus books, plus free short stories, plus videos, go to thereisageneration.com. All one word, thereisageneration.com.